Good morning. Please join me in our opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us, whole and complete, is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. We will this be done within and without. May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven ourselves when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led into temptation by the voice of separation, but instead may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, love, and peace of Christ consciousness found within each of us, but who is the perfect extension of the one mind and one heart that is shared by all and is our birthright as the holy extensions of love. Our affirmation of faith. We believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. Our 5 Christ principles. 1. There is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love, at all times active in everyone, everywhere. 2. We are the divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. 3. We create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4. Through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. And 5. We express our desire to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs.
Good morning, everyone. And hello to everyone here. Hello to all those who are watching via live stream and to those who will watch later in the week. Welcome to the Church of Christ Consciousness. We are here for those who are ready to live the truth of their being. Today, I want to talk about something that most of us don't think about and use Jesus as our example. First, I'm going to lay it out like this. Knowing or knowledge plus experience equals awareness. So knowledge plus experience equals awareness. Another way of saying it, when you know it and then you experience it, you become aware of it. And when you become aware of it, you manifest it within yourself. So I'd like to use an example from Jesus. When Jesus was here, his ministry, his entire ministry was devoted to forgiveness, to teaching forgiveness. Jesus, as the Christ, knew what forgiveness really is. As you've heard me say before, no one asked Jesus to be forgiven. He just forgave them. And he knew what it was. And in his experience of forgiving, he became aware of what forgiveness really is. It was no longer just knowledge or a concept. It was lived. He was now completely aware of what forgiveness was. And once he became aware knowing what it truly is, he was then the manifestation of the Christ, the forgiving and forgiven one. He taught us that in order to become aware of what something really is, you have to give it. Giving is an experience. Receiving is an experience. A lot of people ask me when I tell them knowledge plus experience equals awareness. They want more of something that they can relate to. So I'll give it to you simply. When you were a little kid, and a parent or someone older said, 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, so you could run around going 2 plus 2 is 4. You knew that. But until you experienced putting out 4 oranges or 4 apples or counting out 4 coins, you now became aware of what the number 4 really meant. You had the experience to back the knowledge. Knowledge is wonderful. But without an experience, it's dead. Forgiveness, knowing of forgiveness without giving forgiveness is dead. Knowing Jesus without experiencing Jesus is for nothing. Knowing what prayer is and not experiencing prayer is nothing. It's when we experience that which we know, we now become aware of it. It now is a part of our conscious awareness. When we become aware, we have a conscious expansion. Knowledge is knowledge. There isn't a conscious expansion with just knowing something. Each one of you can read on how to build a book. You can take a book on how to build anything. But does that really mean that you are aware of how to build it? The awareness again comes from the experience. Without experience, knowledge is meaningless. It has no meaning. None. We have been called to be like Jesus was. How can we be like Jesus was if we do not experience being like Jesus is now? We can read it in the Bible. We can know it in our mind. But when we experience it, we feel it in our heart. Now, the thought and the feeling brings us into awareness, brings us into the truth. And that is what awareness really is. Knowing is of the mind. Experience, you may think it's of the mind, but it's of the heart. It's feeling. And a thought with its feeling is to be aware, without which it's meaningless. Again, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but it is meaningless until you have the experience. I'll never forget years ago, I heard a story, and I could relate. This senior in high school wanted so desperately to go to college and to med school. And he prayed, God, I want to go to med school. Please help me. God, I want to go to med school. Please help me. He knew what med school was. And he kept praying. He got into college, but it looked like for a while he wasn't going to make it to med school. He turned in his applications. He took the entrance exam. And one day, he just felt beat by it. Because he had not heard back from anything. And he said, God, I want to go to med school. Why haven't you answered my prayer? And as the story goes, he heard. You will. Stop wanting it. Know it so that you can be ready to experience it. It was about a week later that he got an acceptance letter into the med school he wanted. And when it came, he heard, why did you doubt? If you're doubting, you're not in the knowing, and you can't experience. So there is a certainty that comes with the knowledge. There is no doubt in true knowledge. But true knowledge, even in our certainty, is meaningless without the experience so that we can become aware. Well, just as that senior who went to college became aware. He became aware just how hard med school was because he experienced it. And that is often true for us. Sometimes I think we think going into an experience, this ought to be easy. And then we find out it was one of the hardest things we had to do in our life. And when we become aware of what was done, now we have two choices. To be grateful for the experience or to complain about the experience. If we complain about the experience, then we have not become aware. Our consciousness is not expanded and opened up into the awareness. But when we are grateful for the knowledge and experience, we will become aware and we will ultimately manifest that in our life. So I will leave you today with this. Know, be certain that Jesus the Christ led the way. Know it with certainty. Now, as he asked, follow him, experience it, and you will become aware of what the Christ is and what it means. And then you will have manifested the Christ within. And you will have brought the Christ into the world which so desperately needs it today. So don't be afraid of the experience. Rejoice in it. Celebrate it. Be grateful for it. Love it. And know this one thing. All things, including the experiences, are for our perfect and highest good. We're the ones that must believe it and know it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. And now we will go into meditation.
Let's take just a moment to reflect on awareness. To become spiritually aware is to know that we perceive in spirit. As you get comfortable, breathe in, I am. And breathe out, not this body. And breathe in, I am. And breathe out, not this mind. Breathe in, I am. And breathe out, awareness. Think upon the thought from today's lesson that meant something to you. As thoughts and feelings enter your mind and body, remind yourself that you are not that thought or that feeling. You are the awareness of that thought or feeling. As you look at these thoughts and feelings, understand your true nature. Let's take a moment to reflect. As we meet the experiences of our week, let us remember to perceive with our spirit, and we will know that we are that. And that which I see around me is also spirit. We are one with everything. Nothing is outside that spirit. And having done so, live your true nature, and look you because you are called to know thyself. Divine love through me blesses all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We give and receive in love. Be sure to check us out on ulchurchofchristconsciousness.org.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.